G'day guys, Mac with the Outer Circle, and today we're going to talk about the Beast Snagga Orcs release. This is the latest in a long line of releases from Games Workshop, which has gone to absolute crap the minute it's gone up onto their web store. How crap, one might ask? Pretty similar to this. So, originally I wouldn't probably have covered it. I've not really spent a lot of time dwelling on the way that they've formulated their releases and then how stock hasn't been available. I've mentioned it many times in separate videos, but I think we're at the point now where it's just getting beyond ridiculous. It seems to me, from how quickly these were selling out within a minute of launch, if not seconds of launch, that clearly people are being able to use bot algorithms to farm the product. There are ways around this. There are some mitigating things that Games Workshop could do. They're just choosing not to because, well, at the end of the day, they aren't really affected by it. They get their money regardless. And the fans do not direct their displeasure at the company, they direct their displeasure at the Scalpers. The Scalpers, who it might be said have taken no time putting it all up online on eBay for exorbitant amounts, and people are considering it. And I will say this to people: don't go and buy the Scalpers. Don't feed the addiction. Leave the Scalpers with the boxes they can't use, like toilet paper and hand sanitizer. Games Workshop will probably end up having to do a second run of these, like they did with Indomitus, because the demand is simply too high for the amount of kits that are actually out in the wild. So, yeah, I imagine they'll do a second run. They'll probably announce it sometime this week or two. So don't feel like you have to get it straight away, guys. And honestly, is there such a rush in this hobby that we need to? The people who are waiting for this Beast Snagga Orcs release, are you really so desperate to get new miniatures? You've got nothing left that needs painting on your shelf? Come on. Come on. Just calm down, ignore the fear of missing out, focus on what you've got, and get these when you have an opportunity to do so for the correct price. Now, why did I get really annoyed and cover this topic in the first place today? Well, it started with me at about 2 AM Australian time. I was online with a few friends, Kat and a couple of others, and we were trying to get onto the Forge World webpage because we were discussing some conversion ideas and stuff like that, and we wanted to look around at the kits on Forge World for Horus Heresy. We couldn't get onto Forge World, even though they don't sell the Beast Snagga Orcs, because of the way Games Workshop's got their sites set up. It counted as a Games Workshop site, and so there was a wait time and a queue of 3,000 people, roughly, whatever it says currently on screen, to get onto Forge World, where nothing was being released. What a shit show. Just what a shit show. So, this is obviously the latest in a long line of this stuff happening. So, what can be done to fix it? Well, that's where I'm here to help today. There's probably two different approaches that can be taken, and both should be taken. The first one is producing a not insufficient number of kits. Actually going out, as I suggested in another video, the one I did on polling the community, go out, actually talk to the community as a company, and actually gauge their interest in the product. Here is what is coming in 3 months' time. As an example, how many people are not interested, somewhat interested, highly interested, definitely will buy? Something like that. Gauge just roughly what the interest level is in the community. And it doesn't mean you have to take everyone at their word and go, well, 15,000 said definitely buy. Well, we need to make 15,000. No, but you could at least look at it and go, okay, 15,000 said it. Maybe 12,000 will commit to that. So we'll make at least 12,000 kits. And maybe then a few extras. That's one part of the approach, because there's no need to have this silence where we don't find about the release until the month before it comes out, and they've already decided their production quota, and stiff shit if you miss out. It's a terrible, terrible business strategy, and it's one that really only Games Workshop seems to employ off the top of my head. Very few other companies will do this. Usually it's just a mistake. They don't recognize the demand for their product when they do something. Games Workshop has done this constantly for releases going all the way back into 8th edition 40k, far into 8th edition 40k in fact. They've had this problem when they couldn't keep up the supply and the demand. And not because they were incapable of doing so, but because they just built the amount of kits they decided they wanted to sell and said, as soon as we've sold these, we've made our money back, we've made our profit, we're happy. And that's the end of that. It's a real shame. Because if you're going to make an item like this, which is going to be cheaper than buying these kits individually, of course it's going to be more lucrative to the customer and more people are going to want to buy it at the end of the day. So, it just is what it is. The other thing you could do though, and it's going to suck for some people, but the overall whole, it's probably going to work out better. And that is no more multiple boxes mailed to the same address, and no postal boxes. So I dare say a lot of the people who are scalping these and buying them in bulk are having them all delivered to PO boxes or to the same address. Well, let's get rid of that and have it so that they have to have them brought to their residential address. Then you can find out where they're going as a company. And you can also look and go, hang on, that's 14 this week that are all going to the same address. That's a bit strange. Maybe we should look into that, Something like that could definitely be done. And that would help to alleviate it. And if you did that along with increasing the supply of the miniatures, you could probably kick a lot of this scalping in the teeth. Also, maybe look into how your website functions in order to stop these algorithms from just bulk logging in and grabbing dozens of boxes at the same time. That's something you got to look into. Maybe you need to update the interface on your website. The security checks that people have to go through perhaps on purchasing. I don't know in that regard, but just looking at how other companies do things, maybe reach out to someone else and see how they do it, just as a company-to-company polite conversation. I'm sure a lot of companies will be happy to talk about how they deal with scalpers, because it's a bane industry-wide. So that's all things that they could be doing to try and improve this terrible situation. And I mean, it is a terrible situation. There are people who want to be able to play with this army, and they're not going to get the opportunity to for some time. And already the very high financial goalposts have been made even taller by scalpers. And the company's not really doing anything to address this. There are other things they could be doing as well with that supply and demand thing. So third-party retailers. Third-party retailers got one copy of this box. Now, if you're a third-party retailer, you would be very aware that your relationship with the community is the most important thing. And how many people who come to your store regularly and are the ones who keep you afloat are your local community, and how important they are to keep happy and to give them what they're after. And when the company hamstrings you, that's gonna suck. A lot of local hobby stores, I've noticed, have just said, look, we've got one box. We're not going to pick between our favourite customers. We're just not going to sell the box. It's just going to sit on the shelf until we get a few more copies so we can give them to more of our customers. That sucks that they've got to do that. That really, really sucks. It's just a crap situation, because now you've got people who are annoyed with Games Workshop, people who are annoyed with their own independent retailers who have no control whatsoever over the situation. If you supply more kits as well to your brick and mortar and local stores, or made the pre-ordering, the online purchasing, whatever, through those for an initial release like this, maybe, just maybe, you'd be able to, again, cut down on the amount of people who are scalping out the product. But, just spitballing some ideas here. Because it's very unlikely that a scalper is going to go into the local hobby shop in some backwater town and order 20 boxes. Okay, they could, but if every hobby shop in every town had 20 boxes, then that's not going to be an issue, is it? So these are the sort of things that come to mind. If you're going to do a popular release like this, whether it's the box set which had the Sisters of Battle and the Dark Eldar, the Sisters of Battle's own box, the Indomitus Crusade, the Dark Imperium, whatever the box may be, they've all been selling like hotcakes. And especially with the pandemic, it's worked out wonderful for Games Workshop for sales because people are stuck at home, people have been buying more models. And they've not really been feeding that demand, even though they're doing production in China and in the UK. So it's just a crazy situation that we're in. And you could always make the point that, oh, well, they're trying to work on the next big release and get all the plastics made for that. That's why they stopped making these ones. Well, okay, why don't you just stretch out the release another month of that next thing? They won't, because they want the money now. It's all about short-term profits. Long-term health of the game can go get stuffed. They don't care. As long as the shareholders are happy in the now, the company is happy in the now. And it sucks, but that is the way that they see things, I'm pretty sure. And what are you going to do about it? At the end of the day, as a customer, you either stop buying from them, don't encourage the behaviour, or you just suck it up and go with it. That seems to be the only two approaches. It's not like you can communicate with them and express your displeasure, because they just ignore it. They don't care what you have to say. I should know. Remember, I'm the guy that said this regional pricing is cancerous to our community and got, that 10,000 signature petition together, went off to them and never even got a response to it. Never got a response to it. 10,000 signatures saying this regional pricing is crap. And you know what? Forge World sales to Australia, pretty much non-existent now. So GG, well done. You raised the price and you went from having sales and making, decent profit, but not huge profit, to no sales, and thus no profit. So, slow clap for that brilliant move. Anyway, I'm back with the Outer Circle. This is your daily debacle from Games Workshop. And, for all the things they do right, it's these ones that they do wrong that you've really got to elaborate on, because these are the ones that kill the hobby. You're some kid and you really wanted this box set. Man, that's going to really be disappointing, isn't it? It's your birthday or something. You really want to collect Beast Snagga Orcs, but you can't because some dude in the Ukraine just bought 18 boxes with his bot farming system and he's selling them at $500 a pop on eBay. Great. Perfect. Exactly what you want to see. Anyway, see you all next time.